Welcome to Behind the Bottle, episode number 2. You guys really wanted to create a space where we could share the real stories behind the people who are building a doTERRA business, because there's so much more here than just the doTERRA products. Everyone knows, we have the best, most amazing, pure medicinal oils in the entire world, but there's so much more than that. So I'm really excited to introduce to you guys today my very good friend, Amber Drake. And I really think that you're going to connect with her journey. So Amber, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you, friend.
Yes.
So before we dive right into the questions, just where are you from? Do you have a family? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am from Michigan. I live near Kalamazoo. And I'm a mom of 2 boys. They're amazing. They're 11 and 9. And so very busy time of life.
2 rowdy, amazing boys. Yeah, I'm sure you're busy. And you actually do have another job besides doTERRA. Do you want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. I actually have a couple of jobs. But I do it because I have the time to do what I love. I get to spend my time however I want, and I absolutely love that. And so I like to look at the way that I can serve the world. And 2 of those ways is obviously with our doTERRA physical health, and the other is mental health. So prior to starting doTERRA, I have taught students how to do therapy at a university. I had a small private practice, and I still do those things. I trickle them throughout my week. The nice thing is I don't have to do them heavy. I get to do it the amount of time that I want in my week for fun.
That is awesome. I love that you get to do truly what you love, because doTERRA allowed you to not have to rely on it, financially. You just do it truly because you love it. So that is
right. I was like one of those anomalies in the US that loved both of my jobs so much that I was like, what do I do? And luckily I've been blessed with being able to do it all.
Love that. The woman who can do it all. Truly. Love that. No, you are. Okay, so let's rewind just a second. Where were you before doTERRA entered your life? How did doTERRA enter your life, and what did that season of life look like for you?
So I worked at the university full time, and I had a 2-year-old and a new baby. But I will say doTERRA entered my life probably 2 years prior to me ever engaging with anything.
Was it for a health concern?
Say that again.
Was it for a health concern, or how did you go?
So I am someone that is super skeptical. So for 2 years, I just kind of listened and witnessed, and I'd go to these little classes about how to make natural bug spray, because that felt safe enough to dabble in, or owie spray or something like that. But then my 2-year-old had a ton of ear discomfort the first couple years of his life, and he was 2 ear infections away from getting tubes. And so I just put him on antibiotic after antibiotic after antibiotic, because that's what I knew. And it wasn't working. So I was like, what can I do to support his little body? And so the person I had been witnessing and kind of watching and learning from, I went to her and was like, what can I do to support his little ears? And she's like, tea tree and lavender behind the ear bone. And so I did that. And the ear discomfort subsided, and he didn't have it anymore. And that was life-changing for me, because I was waking up all the time and having to take time off work to take him to the doctors, etc. And so that was eye-opening to me, And then I started trying it on everything because I was like, what's the harm in trying this first? But I will say that was like a mindset shift because I was taught my whole life to reach for this or do this or always go here, and to try these natural things first, to try to support the body, bring it to homeostasis, etc. I was amazed. And then, yeah, I'll let you ask any.
Well, no, yeah, I love it's a perfect transition because it's such a common story that we hear being in doTERRA is most people have no intention or even know there is such an incredible business side to doTERRA, but they fall in love with the products and then it kind of turns into more. And so that's the transition I want to hear from you. Like, so now you have seen that these work, your mind has been opened. How did you transition to actually sharing and doing doTERRA as a business?
Well, after, I mean, I felt so empowered, like, holy cow, like, you don't know what you don't know. And then you like are open to this new world and you're like, dang, like how many other people don't know if I don't know? I consider myself an educated person, right? So why have I never heard of this? And so I sat down with my mentor that taught me all about how to utilize the tools and whatnot. And she was going through the different oils and how to use them. And I was like, what do you typically do? Like how often? Because I knew she worked too, a different position. And she's like, yeah, I just teach these classes. And I love to teach. Like it's a natural thing for me. And so when she like opened this pamphlet and I was like, how much do you make? You know, I was just curious about it. And she pointed and I was like, what? And my thought is like, I know her, I work with her, etc. She's a pretty quiet person. If she could do it, I could like easily teach some classes. So the classic line that like we still to this day joke about is like, I said, I could teach one class a week, or I'm sorry, one class a month.
Yeah.
And then it just blew up. Like once I started teaching, it was very natural, and then more and more people were asking questions, and I was just inviting them to learn, and it was very gratifying.
I love that. I actually didn't know that transition for you of how that, like how the business started. And I love that you came in like, let me dip my toes in and I'll just do one class a month. And it's like, you couldn't even control the success of your business.
Right. And it was just so, I was like having so much fun. So, and I remember this like trip, I think it was a year in, that my family and I were in Colorado, and we always had so much fun hiking and whatnot. And I had thought like, if I could just do enough to support a trip like this,
like a family vacation,
like, it would be such an amazing thing. So it became so much more than that. And I did not expect that. And then I came into the dilemma of like, I've got these two things I love. How do I do them both? But luckily my boss has been amazing and accommodating in that to let me choose.
Yeah, you are super lucky that you've been able to do both, because I feel like a lot of leaders we know, you know, the income from doTERRA creeps up to what they're making, and then they're like, they have to make that decision. Like, do I want to go full in with doTERRA? And what an awesome problem to have. Like, I have
exactly.
You know, like,
I always say first world problems. Seriously,
first world problems.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's incredible that you still get to do your love and your passion of your original profession alongside of another thing that you loved, you know, helping people through doTERRA. My question is like, besides the job part, like how else has doing a doTERRA business impacted your family? Like, what do you say the most profound things are that doTERRA has been able to give you?
I mean, gosh, like it has changed so many things. I feel like my kids, like being able to teach them natural health from 2 years old and 0, like they know how to use oils. They know what to grab themselves. And that is so cool. And hearing them like tell their little friends, if they come over and they get a scrape, like what to do. And it's just like automatic for them. And so not only will that change their whole life and, how they support their bodies, but also I've gotten to do that for so many moms that like I was that empowered mom. And then I've gotten to transfer that knowledge to other families as well. So that's been a huge thing. And then being surrounded by such, amazing, like-minded women who just lift each other up. Like Elise and I aren't even in the same area of doTERRA, but we've always worked together so beautifully. And because of that, it has made me develop myself and develop others and stretch myself in ways that like I didn't even know I needed or was possible. And I've just grown so much. Like the version of me when I started doTERRA, which I loved her, I'm such a different person, and I'm so grateful. And I'll listen to like my clients, or I listen to people every day on the street or whatever that surround me. And I'm like, that was me. And I've grown out of that mindset so much. And I see the world differently because of what doTERRA has changed. And then lastly, like I get to choose my day every day, how it's spent, even though I have these other things, there's still so much flexibility. And because of that, I get to show up for my kids in ways that like when there's a half day at school, oh, let me rearrange my schedule. Most people could never do that. Or I have a free day and it's no big deal, right?
Right.
It just depends. I get to pick my kids up every day from school and take them to school every day. Like it is, I get to spend my day serving people exactly how I want. And that has been huge.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Serving people exactly how I want. And for moms, because let's be real, a lot of doTERRA leaders are moms. And a lot of them come in because they're like, there has to be something more. I don't see my kids ever. And I need to be able to spend more time with them. And that's something I feel passionate about, is like bringing back together the family unit, because we're so segregated and disconnected in this day and age. And so that's something that I love. I'm glad you touched on, because it's true for you in your life and what doTERRA truly can do for other moms, of being more connected and spending more time with their kids, because they're only little for so long, So I love that. Thank you for bringing that.
I got to coach soccer, like different opportunities that you see other parents scrambling and barely making it there. And we've already sat down and had dinner as a family because I had the time to do that, before we ever went in. So I just, like time, you can't get it back.
Just the time freedom. That's so awesome. So I hope somebody watching this, or a mom, can connect with that. So, okay, I guess then my last question to you is, for someone who's watching this and they're kind of like, they're just dipping their toes in and they're curious of like, I don't even know where to start. Like, what would you suggest to them, for that person who's watching this that may feel that way?
Well, it's funny because Monday night I saw Mel Robbins for a second time, because we saw her at doTERRA, right? But I saw her, I saw her in Detroit. Yeah. So
I'm so jealous right now.
But it made me think of like just the process of doTERRA, and like the idea that like if you change nothing, nothing's going to change in your life, right? And I think one thing she says that is so true here, but also can apply to so many things, is like thinking never creates action. And so if you sit back and you just think and think, like, should I do this? What would I need to do first? What would it look like? I would say leap into action. Just take your first steps, and like your experience will tell you everything, because that compound effect of those little actions will create a world you never knew was possible. So that's what I would say.
That's an amazing answer. And we hear that a lot, right? Because so many of us are those overthinkers. And then, especially if you want to make a huge change in your life, your primal brain's going to try to talk you out of that because it's new and different and uncomfortable and not safe. And so, if you spend all your time thinking, you're going to talk yourself right out of it, because that's what our brains are designed to do, to keep us safe. So, I think that's the best advice anybody could give, is just take the action. Like, what's the quote they say? Like, leap off the cliff and grow your wings on the way down, right? You know, like that's so important when you're going to make a big change. So anyways, lady, I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for the time. I think you're going to be able to connect with a lot of women out there watching this. And thank you guys so much. And join us next week for the next episode of Behind the Bottle. Thank you.
Bye.